prophetesses, preachers, and priests. What the Bible actually says about women in ministry. Peace and power to the remnant. This is Lord Augustus, and today we're going to deal with a question that keeps coming up. Are there any female preachers or female priests in the Bible? People will tell you yes. People will tell you no. But the Bible is not confused. The Bible is not vague. The Bible is not double-minded. The Bible is extremely precise about the roles it assigns and the roles it never assigns. So let's walk through this cleanly, without emotion, without tradition, and without trying to force the Bible to say something it never said. First, let's start with what the Bible does show us. The Bible absolutely has prophetesses. You can name them. Miriam, Deborah, Huldah, Anna, Noadiah, and the 4 daughters of Philip. These women are clearly identified as prophetesses. The Bible does not hide them. The Bible does not diminish them. The Bible does not silence them. They speak for God. They deliver messages. They operate in the prophetic. But here's the part people don't want to talk about. The Bible never calls any of these women priests. Not one. There is not a single female priest in the entire Bible, Old Testament or New Testament. Why? Because the priesthood is not a talent. It's not a gift. It's not a personality type. It is a covenant office tied to lineage, sacrifice, and representation. The priest stands between God and the people. The priest handles blood. The priest handles atonement. The priest handles the altar. And from Genesis to Revelation, that office is always male. Even when the New Testament calls believers a royal priesthood, it never introduces a female priesthood. It never used the word priestess. Not once. Now let's deal with the next category. Are there any female preachers? This is where people get uncomfortable because they confuse speaking with preaching, and they confuse testifying with holding an office. Women in scripture absolutely speak. They pray, they prophesy, they testify, they declare the works of God, they teach other women, they operate in wisdom, they operate in revelation, they operate in discernment. But the Bible never assigns a woman to the office of preacher, pastor, elder, bishop, apostle, or priest. Not one time. The preaching office in scripture is tied to apostolic authority, covenant representation, and the public proclamation of doctrine. And every time the Bible names that office, it is male. Now let me make something very clear. This is not about value. This is not about worth. This is not about intelligence. This is not about capability. This is about order. God is a God of order, not confusion. And when God establishes an order, he does not contradict himself later. People will bring up Judith. People will bring up Thecla. But Judith is from the Apocrypha, not the Hebrew Bible. And she is never called a prophetess or a priest. And Thecla is from a 2nd century Christian writing, not scripture, and she is not a biblical authority. So when we stick to the actual Bible, the pattern is clean. Women prophesy, women testify, women teach other women, women operate in spiritual gifts, women are honored, respected, and used by God. But women are never priests, and women are never preachers in the biblical sense of the office. Here's a clean line you can take with you. The Bible has prophetesses, but it has no priestesses and no female preachers. Women speak for God through prophecy, song, wisdom, and testimony. But the priesthood and the preaching office remain male in scripture. This is not about limiting women. This is about honoring the structure God himself established. When you understand the difference between gift and office, the confusion disappears. So today, I'm not giving you tradition. I'm not giving you culture. I'm not giving you modern church politics. I'm giving you scripture. Clean, consistent, and unbothered. If this teaching brought clarity, share it with someone who needs it. And as always, peace and power to the remnant.